When you've seen the other side, it's very hard to come back to real life. What's going on, everybody? My name's Kyle, and I am a near-death experiencer and a heart survivor. I had my near-death experience during open heart surgery about 3 years ago. And one of the things that I realized and learned is that coming back from a near-death experience and after seeing the other side, it's very hard to come back and acclimate to real life. I felt so much pain, so much guilt coming back to real life and society, because the truth is I wanted to stay in heaven. I wanted to stay on the other side. At the time, I didn't want to come back to my family. I didn't want to come back to my parents. I wanted to stay with my two grandparents in the beautiful light and the relaxation that I felt. I wanted to stay there. And the guilt that brought was unimaginable. So coming back to real life was a very, very hard task after having a near-death experience. Lucy. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle, and I am a near-death experiencer and a heart survivor. I want to welcome those of you who have watched any of my prior videos. Welcome back. And anybody that's new here and checking out my channel and finding this video, I want to welcome you in. Welcome to the Heart to Heart Life channel and to my story. I really want to give thanks to all of those people out there that have shown support with me starting to share my story, and I really appreciate the feedback and the comments and everybody saying how they feel about me sharing my story. So uh, if you would like to, I'd appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It helps me, helps get my story out to other people, and hopefully possibly have an impact, whatever that may be. But today I really wanted to get into sharing really my goals and plans for 2025, give a life update of things that have gone on over the last couple weeks and months. That's really why I haven't posted a video in a while, is because I've been waiting for certain things for me to get answers about, waiting for certain meetings and conversations that I had planned about certain things that I really wanted to share with everybody here. So that's where I'm at now, and I'm ready to share. So over the last couple weeks, I've had some changes in how I'm dealing with my heart condition and post open heart surgery recovery. Just under 3 years out from my open heart surgery to repair my mitral valve, and I recently saw a new cardiologist. So this all kind of started when I had just like a normal checkup with my cardiologist to check in on how I was doing, check in on my heart functions, all that fun stuff, check in on medication, all of it. And I really got prepared for this meeting because I have these pretty lofty goals for 2025 and what I'd want to do physically and the accomplishments and times that I'd like to hit. So I went in with a lot of questions, all those regarding my heart rate, my medication, training on beta blockers, which is a conversation I had a couple videos ago about my experience training on beta blockers and whether I could ever come off this medication, because I've been told from the beginning that I would probably never come off metoprolol, which is a beta blocker, and my heart rate variability, because mine is slightly different. my heart rate zones for when I'm training and running, my maximum heart rate, my VO2 max. I had questions about all of that. So I went in basically asking all these questions, and I'm kind of a nerd about it all. I like to track the metrics and the data and like to see all the numbers. So I kind of have an idea of where I'm at. I don't fully trust all the numbers that come off of my Garmin or my Apple Watch, but they're at least close enough to where I can say, this is what I'm seeing in my data. What what can I do with that? How can I use that to my advantage? So I went in asking my cardiologist all these questions, and she didn't really have a lot of answers for me. Um, so her recommendation was she was going to take a lot of my questions to a different cardiologist in the same group that focuses on athletic performance, works with professional athletes with heart conditions and everything to do with the heart in professional athletes. And so I was kind of excited about that, really just wanting to get my answers or my questions answered. That was really my goal. And so I could have ideas and knew what I was going into when I was training. And so I met with this new cardiologist. He was super cool. He really kind of looked at my chart, looked at my previous echoes, and decided that he was going to get to know me instead of just looking at my data on the screen and giving me a cookie cutter answer, which I really appreciated. He listened to what I wanted to accomplish, the different events that I wanted to do, the type of training that I wanted to do, all of that. He took all that into consideration before he even started talking about my condition and where he sees me in the future. So I really appreciated that. That's really what I was looking for. Because I'm not the only young person to have a cardiac surgery, but I feel like I'm a kind of a anomaly when it comes to heart conditions, and the fact that I was so young at the age of 22 when I had my heart surgery, and the fact that after my heart surgery I still want to train and perform the way I do currently. So we kind of got talking, and he wanted to get an echocardiogram and a stress test done on me. He wanted to do the stress test and have me come off the metoprolol for a week prior so he could see the stress test done without medication and how my heart reacted and my body reacted off the meds during high intensity training and stressful situations under hard training conditions. So we did that. The echo came back clean. Did the stress test. Numbers came back apparently really good. I met with him a second time. He was very excited and happy with the numbers and the results that I got from the stress test. Told me I had a VO2 max of about 49. He said most of the time he rarely ever sees anything over 50, and rarely ever sees numbers like I had coming off the stress test. So that was really cool to hear. I've always wanted to know what my VO2 max was. So that's my VO2 max post 3 years after open heart surgery. I'm at a 49. And really the main thing that he said that really got me excited was he made the comment that he was extremely proud of the work that I had put in over the last couple of years after my heart surgery. He was like, a lot of people don't do what you have done. I don't see a lot of people come in here and want to train the way you are, let alone have trained the way you are. And he's like, I can tell you've put in a lot of work to get to the point that you are at right now. So that was a really cool thing to hear from a cardiologist, from a doctor who deals with people like this every single day. When it came to the answers of my questions, he said, you know, my numbers are going to be different than a normal person's heart who has never had a traumatic surgery or anything like that on their heart. Um, but my heart is healthy. It's perfectly normal. It's just been through a traumatic surgery that has changed the dynamics of it. He's like, so you're just going to have to figure out those numbers and figure out how you feel and take it by feel. Um, he's like, you know, there's not a lot of data out there alone for beta blockers um, during off of this surgery. And he's like, there's really no data out there for being on or off the beta blockers post this type of surgery while training like I do and like I plan to do. So that was kind of a didn't really get an answer for that, but what he basically told me and what got me super excited, he asked, "Do you want to come off the beta blockers?" And as a kid, 25-year-old kid that has been told for the last 3 years that I would never come off this medication in my entire life, I didn't know what to answer. I really, my main questions were like, if am I going to be healthy, and is it going to cause any harm to me if I'm off the beta blockers and train as hard as I want to train? Second off, are there going to be any complications with me coming off of it? Because the complications of me being on it weren't that severe. I'd have a couple days here and there where they were just bad days, and I'd be sluggish, lethargic, not have a lot of energy to do a lot of things, didn't want to work out. Um, but other than that, I didn't really have a lot of bad things that were going wrong. During hard training, I felt like I had like a kind of cap of where my heart rate could have get to. Um, so that was a complaint because I really wanted to push myself harder and harder to hit certain things, hit certain goals. So I didn't really know what to say, so I asked those questions, and he's like, you know, we're gonna take it by ear and see how you feel, but I'm more than willing and happy to take you off these medications, and really don't have any fear of bad things happening with the way you keep yourself in shape, the way you exercise, the way you eat, your diet, everything. He's like, I don't expect any negative side effects to come from it. So he took me off the beta blockers, and now today I've been off the beta blocker for 2.5, 3 weeks now. I'm still kind of figuring out how I'm supposed to feel because that held my resting heart rate so low, my heart rate so low, my blood pressure low, that now I think my body's kind of acclimating to having a slightly higher resting heart rate, being able to push that heart rate higher and higher, and um, not having a medication affecting my body. So I was super excited about that. Came off the beta blockers. That was one of my main goals, is like, I did not want to be on this medication for the next 50, 60 years. Um, I always am looking for natural forms to negate medication that I do take. So it was really exciting for me to be able to get taken off of those meds. Um, After that, I've been training hard, and now is where I can say what I'm training for. In 2025, everybody already knows that I'm training for a half marathon in March. That is the Heart Mini Marathon put on by the American Heart Association here in Cincinnati, Ohio. That is obviously one that's near and dear to my heart for obvious reasons. Without the funding and the research that is done with the money that is raised by these type of events, I probably wouldn't be here to tell my tale and be able to help it, like, push that forward. So that's my main goal. I have a team. If anybody wants to join out there, contact me. I will send you the link to join my team. I'm trying to get as many people out there as possible. And if you can't join, if you can't run, you can come and walk. There's a 5K, there's a 1 mile. If you don't want to do any of that, that's okay with me. I'm always willing to take donations for my team. And so that's race one that I plan on doing in 2025. That's in March. It's actually one day after the 3-year anniversary of my open heart surgery. And now let's talk about the rest of 2025. This is where I'm excited about. I am running in the Flying Pig Marathon that's here in Cincinnati again for my second time in the beginning of May. So I'm going to do a full marathon beginning of May. Again, I'm willing to take any donations under my name. Um, and then after that, this is the one I'm really excited about. This is my main training, what my training's going into. I am going to attempt and hopefully finish an Ironman 70.3 in Louisville, Kentucky in the middle of August. So it's something that I've been thinking about for a while now, but I've been kind of scared about it, um, especially coming off what I'm coming off of. I was scared of pushing myself to the limits that it would take to train for something like that, and also of the different events. I'm a good swimmer, but I'm not a great swimmer. I bike, but I've never biked 50 some miles. I've ran a half marathon, so that doesn't scare me as much as the swim and the bike, mainly the swim. So I plan on documenting all the training for that, my progress, everything. Again, that's in August, so stay tuned. I'm going to try to document a lot of the progress made towards a lot of these events. So those are the 3 events that I have 100% scheduled and signed up for 2025. That's not saying that I may sign up for a High Rocks event. I haven't 100% decided. I know that these 3 events are going to take up a lot of my time and training progress and training for my body. So I'm not 100% sure what else I can pile in for this year, but those 3 events are 3 that I'm super excited about, especially the Ironman 70.3. Something I've been thinking about for a while, and it just gets me super excited to say that I signed up for one. I'm gonna push myself. I'm scared. I'm fearful of the swim, 100%. A 1.2-mile swim. I've never swam that far in my life. I can save myself in the pool. I'm a good swimmer. I was a lifeguard once for one time back in the day, um, but I've never swam that far. So it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun to train for, and it's gonna give me a new goal to push my limits. So that's what I'm excited about for my events for 2025. Um, Next thing I want to talk about, other than that, coming off beta blockers, super exciting for me. These events that I'm training for are super exciting, and I'm gonna kind of document those while off the beta blockers. So all that's gonna run together. But one other thing that I'm super excited about, and that I've kind of been building up to, and talking to the right people and getting connected to the right people. I am now partnering with a foundation called MCOR Foundation out of Columbus, Ohio. Now, I've had a couple different people reach out to me about my story now that I'm sharing about my story, and some things just didn't feel right. I've been waiting for the right thing to connect with and to partner with that really had the same goals and values that I did. And one of the main things that I've talked about and really questioned since my open heart surgery is why kids nowadays aren't screened properly for heart conditions. Why heart screenings aren't a normalcy within the healthcare industry, specifically for younger kids. You know, I was an athlete. I played football. So I went through the phase of my life and the phase of football where concussions were a big deal. Baseline concussion testing was a major deal. And I went through all those testings. And now, as an athlete going through that, and then now open heart surgery, I don't understand why heart screenings isn't put up on the same pedestal as concussion screenings and baseline concussion tests. In my mind, there should be baseline heart tests and heart screens before any child should be allowed to play athletic sports. Mainly once they get older, especially high school sports. I think for middle school and high school, you have to get a signed physical from your doctor to play athletics, to join any type of athletics in middle school and high schools. Part of those physicals should be a heart screening. And that's just what I believe. Especially after going through what I went through. Luckily, I had a great doctor who caught it during a yearly physical, sent me for testing immediately, and I was immediately taken by a cardiologist, met with a surgeon. My story is an anomaly. Most of the time, family physicians on yearly physicals don't go that deep, don't know their patients that well, and just if they do hear a heart murmur, let's say for me, hear a heart murmur, most of the time they're going to say, let's monitor it for the next 6 months, come back in 6 months, let's see it, then we'll go from there. If that would have happened to me, I would have been dead. Like, I have been told by surgeons, cardiologists, I would have been dead. If my family physician said, let's wait 6 months, monitor it, and go from there, I would not have made it 6 months. That's just the plain and simple truth of it. So that's why I'm so excited to say that I'm partnering with this foundation, because that's what they do. They make available proper heart screenings for children ages 12 to 22. And it couldn't be a more perfect fit in my mind. I reached out, I met them through a person that I talked to who connected me with them. And after talking to the CEO, the marketing director, telling them my story, we've come to a consensus that it would be a great partnership between us. Me sharing my story and how important screenings are and how screenings saved my life, and basically educating families, hospitals, physicians, kids, anybody out there, that how important these screenings are and how important it is to have your child screened. So there is a baseline test out there if and when there is any issues in the future, or an issue gets caught early and nobody has to go through the pain and suffering that I went through, or that other people go through when they have things like this. So I'm super excited to say that I'm partnering with MCOR Foundation. Hopefully share more about my story, educate people on the importance of these type of screenings, educate you all out there who are watching my videos about how important it is. I was told by my cardiologist that if and when I ever have children, my children would have a slightly higher chance of getting this condition from me. Nothing crazy where it's like it goes from 5% chance to a 70% chance, but there's a slight extra boost in the percentages that if and when I ever have children, they would get it. So if and when I ever have children, they will get screened from the time they can get screened forever. So that's what I'm excited about. 2025 is going to be great. Super excited for it. Super excited to share with everybody out there. So love you all. Thanks.